Alright guys, this is Sky King, and I'm here with some Fall of the Samurai footage. That is correct, Fall of the Samurai. What I did is, it released at 5 o'clock in the morning here, so I had Steam up, and I put the computer on, don't go to sleep, and I downloaded the game overnight, and played it when I woke up, went to school, played it when I got home. I recorded this footage that day, so this is like my second battle, I believe. I'm showing you the trees here. We've got a gun tree, leadership tree in the middle there, and you had the samurai tree over the bar. Okay, so we're out here now. Campaign map. I'm gonna look for a match. This is pre-recorded, so if I can't keep up with the footage, I apologize. That is my bad. Okay, so we're coming in here. We're gonna find an opponent fairly quickly. He's a level 2, which is probably pretty high, which means he's played 4 or 5 matches, and I've played 2. He's an imperialist like me, which you can tell by the star, the sun, the rising sun over his avatar, which indicates that he's an imperialist, which means his men are the more modern men, ones who want to bring innovation and kick the Shogun out. And for those of you who do not know, or the game has been out very long, so that's probably most of you, you can have 2 avatars. That's so you can have one imperialist and one shogunist or loyalist. However, you can have 2 imperialists if you want, or 2 shogunist if you want, or none if you don't buy the game. Alright, so we're ready to go here, and this is a pretty nice map. Kind of interesting. It's not a new map with a faction, but whatever. So I've got these men here. I pretty much brought 4 Red Bear line infantry with 2 Yari Cav, or what are the equivalent of Yari Cav. And so I left this footage in here of me, the map loading, just so I could talk a little bit. As far as I've played the game so far, it's been awesome. I'm really happy with it. I'm amazed. I expected, Samurai to be underpowered, and Samurai aren't as present as you think. There's maybe 3 or 4 Samurai units, 5 at the most. So most factions do rely on muskets. However, the Shogun supporters do have better samurai, while lacking the musket power that the imperialists do. The imperialists have better musket fire, but lack the samurai. So the Shogun factions are probably more of a tactical faction, with the melee infantry there having to maneuver. But with a lot of maps like this one, where the melee infantry is faster, you can get up there on top and maneuver, and so there are advantages to it. And it is balanced in a way. I think they are much better at melee combat, and their morale is a bit better, and they come in larger numbers. Alright, so I was kind of deciding where I wanted to go. I was thinking about the armory there, the morale shrine, or the archery shrine. But I just decided, the morale shrine is probably the place to go. It will provide my men with morale if I capture it, and it stops him from capturing it. So that was pretty much my plan. I kind of derped there with the deployment. Yeah, I try to readjust my men. I grab my cav and I move them. Put my general behind my men. Anyway, so I'm pretty pleased with the game. I think we're going to see a lot out of it. It's excellent, and I recommend it highly. I've always liked the idea of the melee, the brave melee feudal-like warriors versus the more industrial, current modern units. And this is the farthest we're coming. You have to remember, this is post-Civil War, so this is what we'd be playing like with Civil War like factions. Okay, so I'm really tempted by that workshop over there, but I know it's not really going to help me, considering I brought ranged units. I don't plan to get them into melee. They're going to get into melee, and we'll see how they do there. The Red Bears, the troops with the red hats down there, they're not supposed to be too famous for their melee combat abilities. They don't have the spears. I'm having a really bad day today. What's it called? The sticks you put in front of your guns to make a pike. It's a... Jesus. How can I forget this? How could I forget this? Let's see. Bayonet. There we go. I'm not an idiot. Bayonet. Okay. They do not out bayonets, instead they pull out sabers, and they don't seem to like they're trained to use them. Okay, so I'm thinking of taking my cav up here, which I do have a cav initiative. He's probably more of a feudal, he's probably more of a samurai army, consisting of 2 archer units, and they're like bow key or whatever. They pretty much are bow samurai. He's got 2 samurai, Yari samurai, and he's got a katana samurai, as well as a Yari key, which is pretty much a Yari cav. I've got 2 of those, and they're up in the woods there, you can see them. So he does have a larger force and a better melee force, but I've gained this hill. And even if he was going to try to assault my position, take it from me before my own infantry got up there, I was going to just bonsai my cav into there to maintain this hill, because a hill is very, very important in this game. Okay, so my men are moving into position, and I'm in a good spot now. I know that this hill, victory is assured, at least. So I think, gotta leave a cliffhanger there for you guys. And so I'm gonna move those guys up here, and that's the thing about musket troops. I guess it's not musket at this point. Maybe rifle troops. They are nowhere near as mobile as melee infantry. I'm gonna move my cav out there and maneuver them out to the flank. I'm gonna grab one of my cav and move it out there. So those guys are moving up. And I'm gonna bring my general up there. So he starts firing some arrows. And this is another problem with the infantry. I'm like, okay, they're in range. Why are they not shooting? Okay, let's look down here. Oh, they can't see anybody. And it's bludgeoning and it's curse. Because without line of sight, they're not gonna fire. It's not like Empire where you could have your men shoot at the side of the hill. These guys aren't gonna shoot unless they can see the enemy, which is good. But that's the thing about musket troops. You have to see the enemy to attack. Okay, so here we can see which heads poking out. Pretty good shot there. Pretty good volley into Yari Sam, which he's charging forward now, with the Yari Kai or whatever they're called. So these guys do reload pretty quick, but he's gonna get in there. I'm gonna try to back them up into my other line infantry, which is a pretty popular tactic with muskets, to have another unit or 2 waiting after it, so that if you do get into combat with one, they can resume firing. And I do get a bunch of charges in there, or a bunch of shots, not charges. I'm going to move that infantry right there. I'm going to keep that one right there, and then I'm going to go first general with my cav back there. Alright, so now we've got these men in here, and I'm saying, hey, these guys are starting around, let's bring the general. So we bring the general. Okay, my cav are going to come around that flank, and they're going to make first general as well. I'm bringing my men in here, I'm going to rally them. Bam, rally. So that'll keep them in the fight longer. I'm thinking, let's charge in the back of the enemy. I'm like, nah, it's probably more productive charging and use general right here. It's already taking extreme casualties. The enemy that charge will pretty much kill him, and then I'd actually start winning the fight up here. These guys, they can't take the heat, and so then that battle's pretty much over. His general's dead. I'm gonna bring my cav up here, but his men are gonna rout before that even happens. Right as I attack the order, they rout. Right as I press the attack order, they rout. And my opponent made one terrible mistake. He attacked me while I was in a position ready for him, and I have muskets, which means I'm going to do extreme damage. He probably needed to maneuver around or take advantage of his bows, which he did not. And so that was pretty much his death. Alright. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the game now. As far as it goes, the new music in the game, I absolutely love it. It's very nice, but most of you like gives a crap about music. I've played a sea battle. The graphics looks excellent. It's more like Napoleon now, where you can broadside and stuff, which I know everybody enjoys more than the Shogun sea battles, which are not very popular, but historically accurate. Okay, so here I'm going to gain some experience. It's going to take like 50 minutes. They've got this whole summary thing now. It's kind of nice, but they could have at least sped up the experience bar, because what happens when you win some guy and you get 800 XP and it takes like a buttload to load, and that's what's happening here. Finally, oh god, finally that's over. So I did get a skill point, which is good. I unlocked this province here. And you do have the option to skip all this. And I got some cap. It's pretty cool. guys had there, and a veteran slot unlocked, which I've gotten no veterans yet. Usually, you get an offer for a veteran. Usually, get an offer for a veteran after your battle, but I have not gotten such things yet. So there we go. So my general, he's an imperialist, and he's the opposite faction from the loyalists, which support the Shogun. Okay, now that's the Fires Campaign 2. You've got at least standard 3 factions that support the Shogun, and 3 factions that are, the imperialists, and they support, modernization. And so that's pretty much what you're dealing with. As far as cav goes, I've seen some pretty crazy powerful cav. There are units like Carbine Cav, which I've seen them deal out massive amounts of damages. And they're pretty proficient at melee too. As far as the Samurai go, they're balanced in the fact that they've got much higher morale stats than those of the line infantry. So if you can get them in there, they're going to wreck. I'm a little concerned about, balanced regardless, because poorer players are not going to be able to use the Samurai as productively, and while players may get to the point where they're so good with the line infantry that the melee infantry is not going to stand a chance. But they do come in bigger numbers, and for the most part they're cheaper than some line infantry. And, some of the cheapest Samurai could take out the best line infantry in melee combat. That's the problem, though, getting to melee combat. How are you going to charge towards a bunch of muskets? So just some thoughts there for you about the game. Which is, it's excellent, though, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very glad CA brought it into the Total War family. And I'm just going to show you the results here in my battle. Okay, this is the skill tree, actually, and this is important to know. I increased that side, and that's more of your modern general, and that'll give them guns, and it also increased the abilities of the troops who carry muskets into battle with them. Then in the middle is that there's an achievement leader tree, and that makes you cap faster. And then on the far right, we've got Bonsai, generally kamikaze guy, and he will increase the melee potential of your men. So there you go. And that's all. Thanks for watching.